Rain damage along Lae-Madang Highway troubling motorists. Fraudulent housing titles to be investigated. And yoga program funding with fraud squad.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Tuesday's news. To Madang first tonight, and a section of the Lae-Madang Highway has deteriorated, making it more difficult for vehicles to travel. Recent rains have added to the difficulty faced by motorists. Commuters and vehicle owners are now calling on the Works Department to fix this road.
The Lae-Madang Highway is one of the economic corridors in Papua New Guinea, yet it is one of the most neglected. This section of the highway at Ono Mountain has deteriorated. Seen here are vehicles struggling to drive through this slippery section. Jason Sabu travels regularly on this highway. He is a PMV driver. He says this section of the road has not been fixed in a long time and has become a serious concern for commuters.
This road must come up with some national highway. And we come up with some this land come up with some one plantation road. Now we go running PMV long and stop. So now we want the dynamo we come sana bantap. So two pla three pla car I think was sana time to stop. So we are facing this problem lo road and bagarap now we pulling car we come up. So now we put a request to the PMV dyna Boskuru Drawas we put it one national government works same can look in a funding some come lo money come lo all works lo. Walk in this road, so some company can walk in this road can come up. It's a national highway.
John Calabas is from Usinobundi district of Madang province. To get home, he has to use this road. He says the deteriorating sections of the road have hit his people hard.
Madang one time, over the islands, na Morobe. Bila sa ko kam lu slap long side long kawat na gosem. Side lo bagajin. Bila sa sim at time long road. Road condition and all the problem. Governor look through. Na mi bla ogada stablo side mi bla at loga mi bla pulim karlan mi bla buy molman mi bla bigi kainga so mi bla.
Business houses who also depend on this national highway are also affected by the failing state of the road. It drives up maintenance costs and the delays cause them to lose important revenue. Last month, a bridge linking Bogi and Sumkar districts in Madang province was also washed away due to the heavy downpour and flooding. This was the third bridge in Madang province to collapse since the start of 2018. This is not the first time commuters, PMV operators and business community have vented their frustrations. Earlier last month, heavy flooding had washed away the culvert at Iguruwe in Usinobundi district that had cut off the road, making it difficult for vehicles to pass. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
Meanwhile, Madang MP Brian Kramer laid a formal complaint at the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Office in Port Moresby today. He wants authorities to investigate the allocation of a 9 million kina contract awarded to the NCD Yoga program since 2015.
The head of the National Fraud Squad, Chief Superintendent Matthew Damaru, who registered the complaint, said it is a police matter now and the outcome will be determined through investigations. This case involves millions of kina that were awarded to the NCD Yoga program since 2014. The allegations are that the contract was illegally awarded.
Today I officially lodged a formal complaint in relation to the controversial 250,000 a month, 3 million kina a year yoga contract. Now, when this issue first came made public, I made my inquiries into it to establish what were the facts. I guess most Papua New Guineans and even members of parliament can't believe that a 250,000 a month contract was awarded to a foreign enterprise.
But the NCD Governor, Powers Sparkop, has denied this.
In 2014, I paid for the cost myself, out of my pocket money, paying all the volunteers, paying all the drivers, paying for those volunteers who were managing the program. But the program got too big, cost went too high. That's when I went to the commission and went to PSIP. We started humbly with 300,000.
The allegations surfaced in March after a video involving two NCDC officers discussing the amount of money involved in the NCD yoga program. It was later uploaded on social media. The conversation from the video revealed that NCDC spends 3 million kina every year on the yoga program. This has created debates on social media, and the question was raised on the floor of Parliament. The Office of the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption will now investigate this matter. Normal police investigations will be carried out before the NCD governor can be invited in for questioning.
We will have the complaint registered, and no more investigation process will take place from here on, and the outcome of the investigation will be based on what we uncover through our investigations.
The office of the NCD governor has been contacted for a comment. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, NCD Governor Puas Pakop has welcomed the fraud allegations against his office. Governor Pakop maintains that due procedures were followed to award the contract and the funds used were fully acquitted for. He said Mr. Kramer's complaint on the foreign certificate issued is a matter for the Investment Promotion Authority and not a criminal matter. Pakop said the yoga program has achieved a lot and has plans to expand the program. He is confident the investigations will prove his innocence and the complaint is just a publicity stunt by the Madang MP. The National Fraud Squad will also investigate land titles claimed to have been awarded fraudulently to over 300 people at Duran Farm in the Mosby North East electorate. This follows formal complaints registered at the Fraud Office by Housing Minister John Kaupa today. Mr. Kaupa said an internal investigation conducted by the National Housing Corporation has revealed that titles were issued outside of the proper process.
Through the findings of the internal investigation, Minister Kaupa said the Housing Corporation can identify those officers involved and summon them for prosecution. Kaupa said over 300 land titles were fraudulently awarded, and this has caused delays for the government to build houses for public servants at the Duran Farm.
No contract of sale of record was in place for these 301 titles. No receipt of payments been given by or been received by National Housing Corporation on that 301 titles.
The land in dispute is the area next to the McGregor Police Barracks outside Port Moresby. It is the area proposed for close to 300 houses to be built.
They shouldn't be obtaining the title in commercial area or the residential area due to proper infrastructure development are not there, like water, road, sewage and power lines. So under that condition, Lands Department should not also releasing the title.
Earlier this month, the minister accused former member for Mosby North East, Labia Mayu, of engaging in fraudulent deals. He voiced his concerns again today.
301 title is done by my predecessor for Mosby North East, Labia Mayu. His company, PNG Resource Corporation, is directly involved in obtaining the title prudently. And we can prove to you 110% guarantee proper process were not followed.
This was Labia Mayu's response when the matter was first raised.
Minister representing the state, falsifying, information and coming out to the public and telling, the nation that Labia Mayu has 391 title is totally misleading. I have no idea of any form of title that has been written to me or under my name from NHC.
But the construction remains halted for almost a year now, following the fraudulent issuing of land titles. Teklagunga, National MTV News.
Coordinator of the Anua Moriri Daycare Center in Lae, Sister Quim Nicholas, says they have enough antiretroviral or ART drugs in stock. This follows reports on the shortage of ART drugs in the country. These are drugs administered to patients living with HIV and AIDS. Sister Nicholas says the clinic has been managing their stock and estimates it will last until the end of next month.
The Anua Moriri Daycare Center coordinates the HIV and AIDS services for the Morobe province, including antiretroviral or ART treatments. Coordinator Sister Quim Nicholas says they have enough ART drugs in stock to last till the end of next month. This follows reports made last week over the shortage of ART drugs in the country.
This lab because me apply coordinating center all sides come me block give him all get out by kissing, but at least they ration him goes on 2 weeks or a monthly basis, so at least their patients get the ART.
The ART treatment helps to improve a patient's immune system. It is a lifelong treatment that is given daily in different combinations.
But we are talking about the triple combination that's running short, but we have the dual and the single there to give as well.
The daycare center sees up to 40 patients daily with an increasing number of cases. At the moment, there are 1,281 patients in Lae who are on the ART treatment.
Because we got on our blood regime stuff, we can always switch because we cannot leave the patients go without ART. Because they have to get ART every day.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Lae.
Still in Lae, the Health Division of the Lae City Council says it cannot perform its duties due to a shortage of logistics and administrative support from the national government. That is according to the manager, Godfrey Warrior. His comments come after a family raised concerns of factory sausage waste spilling into a neighborhood. Mr. Warrior said companies will be forced to shut down if they are found operating illegally in residential areas which do not meet the government's requirements and regulations.
Godfrey Warrior is the manager of the Lae City Council Health Division. He says they have not actively carried out health inspections in the city over 20 years. This is due to various challenges that include logistics difficulties and staff shortages. He says it is also an issue of importance for the management to recruit new staff to help conduct inspections. Warrior said the lack of support by the national government in funding the office on time has affected the daily operations.
We don't show a result of what we're supposed to do, then we can be questioned on that, but for justification reasons. Otherwise, to that, nothing's been given to us, so it's very, very hard.
In recent weeks, the Lae City Council has come under scrutiny. Much of that scrutiny has stemmed from a 5-year delay in acting on complaints about pollution from a sausage factory located near a residential area at 2 Mile. Our family raised the concerns in 2014. Nothing was done until last week when the City Council's waste management team closed the factory. The team led by Senior Inspector Paul Wiwi closed the factory after 3 inspections. The inspection showed that the company failed to provide evidence that it followed regulations. Documents also show that the building was approved to be storage warehouse. It, however, was operating as a sausage factory.
The plan goes out. We have to know where the buildings will be erected, whether it's a residential zone or commercial or industrial zone. And to build elsewhere anyway is not required. It's regulated as well too. Which one be right for us? And whoever's seen doing that, we will retract and see if we can disallow those particular business activities that is conducted at the wrong place.
These cases also brought to light other underlying issues that affect the City Council's work. Godfrey Warrior says there is lack of communication between Lands and Physical Planning Board, the Building Board and Lae City Council. He said the office will work closely with other authorities to review business licenses and will force them to close if they are operating illegally in residential areas. Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Lae.
You're watching National MTV News. We go for a break now. When we come back, more of the day's stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Employees of the Central Provincial Government have been challenged to work together to deliver services for the people of Central Province. At a dedication service today, Central Province Administrator Guni Gay Raga called for all administration employees to do their bit in improving the province. 4 months into the year, and employees of the Central Provincial Administration gathered today for a dedication service. The service, the first official engagement for Provincial Administrator Guni Gay Raga, after being cleared by the courts over allegations of abuse of office last week. According to Mr. Raga, it was now time for the administration to work together with the province's political leaders to improve Central Province.
If governor wants us to run, we have to run. If governor wants something done today, it must be done today. Because they have 5 years only. They have 5 years. And that's why they want things done.
Mr. Raga also called on the administration to provide proper guidance for leaders during their term to develop all 4 districts.
And you and I are technocrats. You and I are bureaucrats. We are here to give the best advice possible and advise them. Sorry, this is possible. Sorry, this is not possible. Sorry, we can do it this way. Those are the guidance and directions we have to give them. That's why you are a public servant.
Please, I want us all to take this opportunity and change within oneself in order for us to change the House and change the administration for the betterment of this province.
Deputy Governor Desmond Byra was also present and called on both the political leaders and bureaucracy to put aside their differences and partner for the benefit of Central Province over the next 5 years.
Just one thing. From the governor, we want everybody to work together. In the administration, in the government, the assembly members, we need to work together. Forget about politics. Forget about all the rubbish that's been in for the last, 5-6 months. Let's put it behind, and we all must work together.
PNG Power Acting Managing Director Caroline Blacklock has assured employees of PPL that matters raised in a recent strike will be addressed. She brushed aside rumors of job insecurity and denied moves to reduce tariffs by 13%. Blacklock told union members the 2017 CPI increase was paid and 2018's will be no different. On the issue of insurance, Blacklock presented documents showing insurance for all PPL employees and denied any breach of any requirement. Despite the response by the head of PPL, union members are adamant they will be meeting again tomorrow. The 2018 National Mining Safety Week theme is Fitness for Work, and already mines around the country have begun celebrations. Nickel giant Ramu Nickel in Madang carried out various activities to signify the occasion. Vice President Zhao Dechan said employees' safety awareness and safety skills have been greatly improved and adding value to the production line. The company says safety has been a priority since its establishment. Other activities include safety activities, quiz competition, safety songs, awareness and emergency response. The National Mining Safety Week will end this Friday, the 27th of April. An international vanilla buyer says Papua New Guinea has the potential of supplying high-quality vanilla if proper infrastructure and support is given. Director General and President of France company Prova says the transport sector needs to be improved to support farmers in districts. Moriel Asat Venay says the market opportunity for Papua New Guinea is high. She says appropriate support and technical assistance is key to maintaining an export of high-quality vanilla beans from Papua New Guinea.
The French businesswoman paid a visit to Central Sepik recently to get a glimpse of the vanilla trade in East Sepik. Returning yesterday from Wewak, she says there is great potential in exporting high-quality vanilla beans. Muriel says the type of species PNG is growing is unique apart from big markets like Madagascar.
We need quality vanilla. Madagascar right now is going through a very strong crisis where they are not preparing vanilla very well, but they will be back with good qualities. So your main competitor is Madagascar. So you have to make qualities as well, very good quality vanillas, and support and really promote your origin, which is very interesting. There are customers for those qualities.
Despite the vanilla price an issue at the moment, she says its quality is key to making it stand in the world market. However, the French businesswoman says better infrastructure such as roads and other transport mechanisms must improve.
And I have to admit that the roads to Maprik are terrible, so I have a special message for your government. And I think that the money should not only go to Port Moresby, but also to your province, especially build better roads, because we need better roads to improve the development of the country and help agriculture also to have a better logistic. Very important.
The Director General of PROVA left the country yesterday for a similar trip for vanilla prospects in parts of Indonesia. Maprik MP John Simon urged the government to assist improve roads and help the agriculture sector for Central Sepik.
And I'd like to encourage our government to look more into this thing as well. The government needs to see this. In order for us to continue to bring our produce out, we need to build the infrastructures in the districts.
MP Simon has also raised concerns of illegal trade of vanilla at the Indonesian border. He says PNG will lose its quality beans if proper mechanisms to support the industry is not given by authorities.
If we want to keep it up there, we need help from the government in terms of controlling quality and controlling the trading across the border. The trading across the border needs to be really, really controlled. We need to control this so that we keep this industry.
About 500,000 kina is circulated daily between farmers and buyers of vanilla in Maprik alone. Jack Lepave Jr., National EMTV News.
The Popondetta Fire Station now has new duty barracks to accommodate its officers. Acting Chief Fire Officer Bill Roo officiated at the ribbon-cutting ceremony recently. Mr. Roo says the workstations in the country need more renovation and rehabilitation work to be carried out. He says the demand for reliable firefighting services are high. Fire stations are not getting the support they need. The new barracks, which cost over 200,000 kina, contain separate sleeping quarters for men and women, with common rooms and other facilities for duty officers. This is the first improvement since the fire service established its office in the northern province. Here with National EMTV News, we go for a break now. When we come back, some stories making headlines overseas. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, the name Riwi Ali is well known, and for more than 50 years he was the best known Kiwi in China. But perhaps what is not so well known is that he and his older brother Eric fought in the First World War, and Riwi was decorated for his bravery. Eric survived Gallipoli and went on to the Western Front. Riwi followed his footsteps. Here's their Great War story on the eve of Anzac Day.
The Ali family grew up in Christchurch. Their father, Frederick, was a progressive headmaster with an interest in farming. Their mother, Clara, was secretary to suffragette leader Kate Shepherd. Clara was also a member of the National Council of Women in 1896. When war was declared in August 1914, Eric Ali, the oldest of the four boys, was farming in Lumsden. He signed up with the Otago Mounted Rifles 12 days later.
Clara, his mother, she supported his leaving to go to war because she was reassured that it'd be over in a year. And of course it dragged on for another 4.5 years and it was terrible.
Dr. Pat Ali is a nephew. He says Eric took his beloved horse with him.
Percy, he was a piece of work, difficult to ride, but Eric could handle him, and no one else could.
Riwi Ali was at Christchurch Boys High School when Eric left. He was an athlete, a rower and a rugby player, keen on a career in the army. On April 27, 1915, Eric Ali landed on the Gallipoli Peninsula. After tough months in the front line, he was wounded. Recovering in London, he would meet a nurse, Joan, who wrote to him.
It's nice to see the ship you were on, with all your beloved horses.
Joan was not to know Percy, Eric's feisty horse, had been shot rather than being left in the hands of the Egyptians. Family friend Edna Pengelly, one of the first group of New Zealand nurses to travel overseas, looked after Eric.
He badgered Pengelly to let him go, probably before he should have.
At Armentières, Eric Ali ventured across no man's land to the German trenches on a reconnaissance mission. During the raid the next day, he was hit and died of his wounds. He was 23.
To survive Gallipoli and end up possibly being killed by your own shell fire was a terrible tragedy.
Wartime telegrams were what every family dreaded.
They'd see the telegraph man riding his bike down Rustley Road, and they were dreading that he would turn into their driveway. Because most of the time he didn't, but this day he did. And Clara knew it was bad news.
Eric's friend Joan continued writing to Clara Ali. Later, Joan would tell her she was getting married.
He often seems to me as near as when he was alive, and I find myself thinking of him a whole day as vividly as when I knew him then.
As the war raged on, Riwi, aged 21 and now in France, received a military medal for bravery at Bhopal. Earlier, he'd made an extraordinary discovery. He found Eric's cross in the muddy carnage and sent it back to Lumsden, where his brother had worked. It now stands in the Gore RSA.
It is the futility. I mean, what difference did it make? What was the outcome? And all those men who died.
After the war, Riwi became a pacifist. He moved to China, where for 60 years he was revered as a teacher, writer and poet. He died there, aged 90.
And Anzac Day will be celebrated here in Port Moresby with a dawn service at the Pomana War Memorial Cemetery tomorrow morning. The driver suspected of running down dozens of pedestrians in Toronto, Canada, will be in court in just a few hours. Charges have not been announced yet for the 25-year-old.
Federal and local authorities have provided an update saying that some 10 people have been killed in this attack, with 15 wounded, several of them in critical and serious condition. The officials have also identified the alleged attacker, saying he's a 25-year-old male from Richmond Hill, which is about half an hour outside Toronto. They identify him as Alec Minassian, and contrary to some earlier reporting, they say his name was not known, that it was not in the files. For now, they are not calling this a terror attack, saying it is not a threat to national security, that there are no other attacks that they know of that are in the works, and they are not raising the terror threat level. They've also given a fuller picture of how this attack unfolded. It took just 26 minutes from start to finish, starting at 1:26 p.m. right here on Yonge Street, one of the busiest streets in the country. It was a beautiful day. People were out and about, going to and from work, to and from lunch, when the attacker hopped up onto the curb in that white Ryder rental van, driving down the sidewalk southbound, plowing into people. Witnesses say that the driver was going some 40 to 50 miles an hour, calling the scene a nightmare, an absolute pandemonium. At 1:52 p.m., the police managed to corner the attacker. They got him out of the car. There was a dramatic standoff in which the attacker appeared to be holding something in his hand, pointing at the police, claiming to have a gun. The police, showing restraint, did not fire their weapons. They said they ordered him to get on the ground, which he did, and he was handcuffed and taken away without incident. Take a look. The big question now, what is the motive? So far, there has been no claim of responsibility, no indication yet that this was terror-inspired, but of course, it does dredge up some horrific memories of very similar terror attacks in other major cities like Berlin, Barcelona, and Nice, and of course, New York last year on Halloween.
Armenia's Prime Minister has resigned, accused of a power grab which sparked 10 days of nationwide protest. His decision to step down was unexpected, but it was welcomed with scenes of celebration in the capital as well as in other cities.
The celebrations were matched by a palpable sense of relief on the streets of Yerevan, Armenia's capital, as a political crisis came to a swift and surprising end. In a blunt speech, the country's prime minister abruptly resigned, saying, "The street movement is against my tenure. I am fulfilling your demand." With that, Serge Sargsyan ended days of street protest, turmoil, and his own 10-year legacy as Armenian leader. Tens of thousands have protested what they saw as a power grab. Term limits meant Sargsyan could no longer be president. Instead, in 2015, as his term was ending, he transferred real power to the office of the prime minister. Parliament, controlled by his party, then elected him prime minister earlier this month, sparking days of contentious protests that escalated as opposition party members were detained. The symbolic leader of the protests, Nikol Pashinyan, was promptly released and thanked those who, he said, made a difference on the streets. But he also appealed for calm and now some contemplation as Armenia begins to try and work out a political compromise that has so far been elusive.
Twitter is all the Twitter thanks to a snapshot of a smiling Melania Trump. She was smiling, but a gracious grin seems to be getting some attention for its supposed rarity as well as its setting.
It was one of those insignificant but irresistible moments. President Obama seated next to the current First Lady at Barbara Bush's funeral. Obama made Melania Trump smile. And Twitter erupted. It's a shame that the happiest anyone has ever seen Melania is at a funeral. Even Cher unloaded. First real smile on Melania's face in a year and a half. Trump supporters beg to differ. Melania smiles all the time. Do you live in a cave? Nevertheless, hashtag Make Melania Smile Again popped up.
She had this really genuine smile on her face. When I saw on Twitter, it said something like, when you go Barack, you... And
You never go back. But you know, a picture isn't always worth thousands of words on Twitter. Video shows the smile was over in mere seconds, seemingly just a normal reaction to some pleasantry. Someone tweeted this pop quiz of these two photos of Melania Trump. Which one was taken at a funeral? Turns out the unhappy-looking one, the one when Melania was with her husband, was taken during a prayer.
Our refuge and strength.
Not exactly a smiley time. Reminds us of back when this photo of then Secretary of State Condi Rice landed on front pages, showing how diplomatically isolated and under pressure she was.
Let's see how it went. Oof.
Except when you see the video of that moment, Condi was actually just brushing a piece of hair off her forehead. Back then we said, the moral of the story, if you're Secretary of State, don't scratch, don't primp, and don't you dare run your fingers through your hair. Now you can add, don't smile to that list.
And EMTV News continues after these messages with Trukai Sports. That's coming up next. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with golf, and the 2018 SP PNG Golf Open tees off this Thursday, and this year will feature one of the strongest fields to date at the Royal Port Moresby Golf Club. The tournament signals the return of the ISPS Honda PGA Tour of Australasia after a 2-month break. Many professionals will be taking the opportunity to tee off in Port Moresby as the busy touring schedule fires up. 2017 champion Corey Crawford will be defending his title for the first time in his young career, breaking through for his first professional victory in a thrilling playoff over fellow Queenslander Brett Ranking. Crawford is looking to go back-to-back in Port Moresby this weekend. The annual BSP Junior Pro-Am tournament was held today at the Royal Port Moresby Golf Course. Junior golfers teamed up with pro golfers who travelled from Lae as well as Australia. The pro golfers will be participating in the SPPNG Open, which tees off tomorrow.
Junior golfers were put into different teams which included a pro golfer. The Junior Development Program has seen many kids get involved in the sport. BSP has supported the Pro-Am event since 2013. This year, they've maintained their commitment by supporting the event with a check of 10,000 kina. With BSP's support, this has helped junior golfers excel in the sport over the years.
BSP is delighted to support kids sports right across the nation. In the kids cricket and particularly the golf. It's a real important thing for the kids' development. It teaches them a lot of life skills around building confidence, leadership, teamwork, and those type of skills which they can take to their schooling, university and into work in the later years of their lives. And also around communication skills and just being part of a community and building friendship and social skills.
Junior Golf Coordinator Rosalinda Taufa says they are pleased to have BSP support the Junior Golfers event for another year.
So we are truly appreciative of BSP's support to what we do, especially in the development of golf in Papua New Guinea. We acknowledge the support outside of BSP being our sponsor every year, our immediate presidents of the Royal Port Moresby Golf Club, his executive and management, the staff.
Taufa hopes the Port Moresby Development Program can be spread throughout the country to get more juniors involved in the sport.
Golf being supported by them and for the children and for Royal POM, and we hope that what we do as a pilot example to the rest of Papua New Guinea, we want to embrace junior golf development in PNG as well.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
To Rugby League, and Croton Hella Wigman has partnered with Accelerate Sports as their official branding and merchandising agent for the season 2018. Accelerate Sports will be supplying Rugby League custom apparel, training gear, body science supplements and medical first aid supplies. Accelerate Sports will be the first retailer in PNG to sell the popular Hella Wigman supporter gear. And we go for a break now. Trukai Sports continues after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To hockey now, and the Under-18 Oceania Youth Olympic qualifiers held its opening ceremony today at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Sports Stadium. Witnessing the opening ceremony were representatives of the Oceania Hockey Federation's PNG Hockey Federation, PNG Sports Foundation CEO Peter Tiamalili Jr. and Vice Sports Minister Wesley Ramenai. Participating teams from Australia, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands and host PNG were given a cultural entrance by dancers from Manus as well as from the Motu Koitabu area. The event, which starts tomorrow, ends on Saturday with the closing and medal presentations.
Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, and PNG. Solomon Islands and Vanuatu, thank you too much for coming, and Midang must play welcome to. Thank you too much. Australians, thank you for coming along for this tournament, and we appreciate your presence here in Papua. Thank you.
Great gratitude to the countries of Australia, Solomon Islands, and Vanuatu, for the effort by your leaders, your administrators, to make it possible for you to come onto our shores. Thank you.
To the NRL now, Mason Lino is set for the biggest challenge of his NRL career, with the young playmaker named in the Warriors starting lineup for their blockbuster Anzac Day clash against the Storm. Sean Johnson has not recovered from his groin injury, leaving Lino to partner Blake Green in the halves against the defending premiers in Melbourne.
Mason Lino in, Sean Johnson still out.
You know, that's what competition is about. You know, it's about you know, putting your hand up, and you know, as you mentioned, Mason's done a great job of that.
They play the same role in our team, I guess. I sort of play on the ball, so you know, they're a bit of a like for like swap when they come in. Obviously, both you know very good footy players.
After two standout injury cover performances, Stephen Kearney's backing his young gun for the Anzac Day encounter.
I haven't seen the perfect footballer. So, you know, everyone's got areas they can work on.
This Wednesday will mark the 9th clash between the two sides on the historic day, and while the Warriors are tasting rare early season success, they've only won once since 2009.
They're, you know, performing how we know they can perform, but yeah, so we know we've got a big challenge ahead of us.
An even bigger challenge without former Storm forward Tohu Harris, who will miss the Test match-like occasion after suffering a head knock in Friday night's win over the Dragons.
It's a big occasion, you know, when we line up for the anthem and all that, then that's when you start to feel and how much it means to everyone.
After a couple of days off, training was light today with the short turnaround, but with a clear emphasis on discipline after giving away 13 penalties against St George.
We probably put, you know, a great deal of pressure on ourselves by being offside a couple of times, and you know, that just, you know, that snowballs.
And there'll be plenty of added pressure as they try to weather the expected storm on Anzac Day.
To Super Rugby, and Tana Umaga's job appears to be safe despite the Blues spiralling to the bottom of the Kiwi Super Rugby Conference again. The Blues CEO, who's overseeing Umaga's ill-fated tenure, says sacking coaches has not worked for them in the past.
This might lift some of the weight on Tana Umanga's shoulders.
He's got a great rugby brain, he has the respect of the players, he has my support and the support of the board.
If Umanga's not the problem, then what about his boss?
Since you've been here, we've had coaches come and go, players come and go. You're the constant. What have you done to make this club better?
Well, I think if you just look around physically, I mean, my job is to make sure that the coaches and players have the resources they need to succeed.
While Michael Redman has helped them into a flash new training base, the Blues are still bottom of the Kiwi Conference. Apart from the 20 injuries they have, he thinks the problems lay elsewhere.
We're part of a system. We're the fully professional end of that system, but all parts of that system need to work.
That Auckland region system seems to be working for everyone but the Blues. Players like Dylan Hunt,
Gatlin deep, charge!
Waisake Naholo and Tavita Lee helped the Highlanders win in their old city on Friday.
Is this a recruitment problem?
No, I don't think it's a recruitment problem. I think some players leave because there are other playing opportunities elsewhere. Other players leave because the system they're going into, whether that's off-field or on-field, suits them better.
The Chiefs have been a better fit for former Blues prop Angus Ta'aval. He feels the Blues development system needs to put less focus on schoolboy stars.
Setting up that culture where it's not given. You've got to earn the right, you've got to earn the respect, and you're not coming out of school to earn a Super Rugby contract.
Blues captain Augustine Pulu admits it ladens senior players with extra responsibility.
You want them to know exactly what you know, but you got to understand that they're just straight out of school, just raw talent.
Redman agrees it's a problem, yet insists it doesn't come down to recruitment or the front office.
You're happy with what you're doing as the CEO, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
It seems that people struggling to fix the problem will stay in charge.
And that's it for Trukai Sports this evening. Up next, the weather details for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Mostly cloudy weather expected this evening for Port Moresby with some afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms for Daru. A few late showers expected in Kerma. Late thunderstorm or two, but sunny weather expected in Alotau. And early showers tonight in Popondetta, and a cloudy day with a few showers expected tomorrow. To the Momasa region lake, and expect some cloudy weather, an afternoon shower tomorrow as well. Some showers tonight and tomorrow expected in Wau. Cloudy with a chance of showers this evening for Madang. Partly cloudy for Wieback. Mostly cloudy with a late thunderstorm expected tomorrow afternoon for Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau can expect some cloudy weather with late showers. Cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms for Kavieng. Mostly cloudy for Kimbe. Clouds breaking with warm weather expected in Rabaul and Kokopo. And cloudy weather with some thunderstorms later on for Buka in the autonomous region of Bougainville. And in the Highlands region, some cloudy weather with showers later on expected for Mount Hagen and Wabeg. Early thunderstorms for Kundiawa, cloudy with some thunderstorms expected for Goroka, and thunderstorms and showers the order of the next 24 hours for Mendi, Southern Highlands.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's the way it is this Tuesday, the 24th of April 2018. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.